Exploring today's consumer. Today's consumer is continuously bombarded with advertisements, whether it's in the form of a TV commercial or magazine ad. The flow of advertisements is constant and repetitive. Promotional communication permeates and blends with our cultural environment, punctuating our television watching, saturating our magazines and newspapers, and popping up in our internet surfing, movies, and video games. Advertising has become an accepted part of everyday life. Because ads have become a part of our everyday lives, does this mean we're open and susceptible to manipulation and persuasion? Are today's consumers cultural dopes blindly following the ebb and flow of the marketplace? Well, according to the rational consumer theory, consumers will only buy what they truly need based on the product information to satisfy their wants. But critics of advertising argue that the information provided is misleading. According to Vance Packard, the consumer is being unconsciously manipulated by advertising in the marketplace. Packard believed that consumers were becoming creatures of conditioned reflex rather than of rational thought. He alleged this manipulation took place at a subconscious level. Wilson Brian Key was also thinking similarly when he suggested that messages were being conveyed to consumers subliminally in advertisements. Key claimed to find the word sex baked into the surface of Ritz crackers and deeply symbolic sexual imagery used in the depiction of ice cubes and alcohol advertising. While whether or not sex was subliminally baked onto the Ritz crackers, ads today are very blatant and straightforward when it comes to associating products with sex. Sex sells, and it sells so much that ads are on the brink of being pornographic. This Axe shower gel ad appeals to men because it portrays a sexually engaging woman offering herself to the male audience, because Wash Me is written on her. We can assume she wants to be washed with the Axe body wash, even though the ad isn't geared towards women. The ad creates a personalized format accentuating male fantasy. This next Lee's Clothes ad obviously advertises clothes, but it's geared towards young audience, such as young girl teens, who may want attention, to be accepted, beautiful, or to be sexy. Society does demand beauty from women, and this ad creates a personalized format, informing its audience what they can achieve. The next two ads, Calvin Klein and Dolce & Gabbana, both seem to promote lifestyles rather than simple, attainable products. Both these ads seem to be all about living out fantasies in far-fetched situations, like making out in a puddle, for instance, which is shown in the Calvin Klein ad. The ads promote the label meaning rather than informing people of the product, perhaps because the product is already so well established. This ad for Radiator surfing gear obviously insinuates sexuality. This ad uses metaphors and innuendo to describe the swim gear. It states, "Not as thick, just as warm, all the rubber you'll need." In contrast, this ad has subliminal qualities that are less blatant. It's associating McDonald's with sex using phallic imagery and the McDonald's gold arches. Today's consumer is also driven to be an individual, so advertisers create illusions of individuality around products to satisfy this need. The products promote different lifestyles and ways of being. Because goods hold meanings, consumers use them to help characterize themselves and create interpersonal distinctions. Capitalism creates an illusion of variety and choice to satisfy the consumer's need to be unique and expressive. We all want to be individuals and make our own choices, so we try to demystify ourselves. But these unique and individual products are being mass-produced and geared towards a great number of people, creating groups. If you're part of a group, are you still an individual? Or does that group give you an identity? Is self-expression through products a complete sham? In conclusion, I think that today's consumer varies. Sometimes we're perfectly aware of advertisers' blatant ploys to manipulate our consuming habits, and other times we buy into the glamour of products. Some consumers today may be cultural dopes trying to fit in, and perhaps others are doing the exact opposite. Maybe it even depends on the product. Some labels we trust and others we don't, not because of the commercials and ads, but because of experience or tradition. We all have our favorite brands, and we don't always need super sexy ads to remind us we all like it or make us feel like individuals.